Welcome to another episode of Making Custom Bape Vans from a Yard Sale Find. This is Eric C. Productions, and here you see I bought a pair of Vans at a yard sale for $1. And as you can see there, it is kind of ugly. It's pretty much cream or white with pink in it. So here are the materials that I'm going to use. You see there the paints, brushes, some vinyl tape up above, as well as everything I'm going to need. So basically what I did is I take the vinyl tape and I wrapped it around the edges so that if I have any other extra oversplash, you can put it, it'll get on the tape instead of the soles. So as you can see there, I'm starting to paint black on the edges because I wanted a black Vans. So I painted over the suede, as you can see there, with a licorice color satin finish acrylic paint. I know most people have been using a leather paint, but I don't have leather paint, and I'm just kind of using what I have. So basically, as you can see there, I'm painting over it with a black licorice satin finish paint that I got at Walmart. And as you can see there, I am painting the edges, and you can see the back, the tongue, as well as on the top, as well as in the front. And yeah, I put 2 coats on, so you can see there. And basically, you can see that I let it dry, and I did both shoes. And then now I'm going to use white, and I'm going to paint the bottom right above the little swoosh that they had there. I put about 2 coats of paint on that, and the reason why I did that is because that's where I'm going to be making the teeth, and you need it as white as possible because it's going to be like a mouth on it as well. And then there you go, you can see I'm painting it there, and I'm trying to try to be as clean as possible when I paint. And then you can see that I'm using the titanium. It's like a snow white, I think, or maybe even a titanium white that I used. And it takes a long time. You just got to be very patient. I got a little frustrated when I was doing this, but as you can see there, I'm going to start the camouflage. So I'm using like a light green with a little black in it to darken it up, and it's actually made it a little bit like olive and a little bit of the camo color. So as you can see there, I'm painting it there. I put 2 coats on that, and it's time consuming because you take a lot of time repainting it and then making sure you're getting all the right details on it and as well. And you can see I'm using a lot of paint and constantly mixing and everything else like that. So the next step after I paint the camo is you got to let it dry. I let it dry for about an hour, and you can see there. Yeah, no, it's not that clean, or I'm not a very kind of a messy painter. And then these are the teeth, and I did this freehand. I know online that you can see that they have stencils and everything else like that you can buy on, I believe, like Etsy, but I didn't have the money, nor do I have the time to wait. So I basically copied that stencil from the internet, and then I just kind of made my own little template from some paper stock, and then I made a photocopy of it, as you can see there. So as you can see there, I'm using the pencil to freehand it all the way in. So the teeth are pretty much different on all of them, but I try to keep it as consistent as I could. And as you can see there, I'm using a marker. I used a little bit of a marker, and then I drew it all in the way I wanted to do it. And then I kind of started with a Sharpie pen, and then I worked it with the red Sharpie pen second. And after I did the second Sharpie, I did all of it in Sharpie first because I wanted to get the idea of what it's going to look like. And then what I did was I eventually went over it with paint. And I'm going to show you what paint I used. But as you can see there, I'm making the red with the red Sharpie. And then basically, there you go. That's how it looks. And it's a rough drawing and all that too, so you can get a good idea of what it's going to look like first. And then you can do both sides, and then eventually you got to draw the other shoe. And this takes up a lot of time and a lot of patience. And if you just take your time, you know, like me, I like to get everything done as fast as I can, but this project lasted me about a day and a half, and that's nonstop. But since we're in this pandemic anyway, I've got nothing but time. So as you can see there, I'm just using the Sharpie to fill it all in now. And like I said, I started out with Sharpie, and then I painted it over afterwards when I did both shoes. And then I got the red paint as well as the black paint that I used to paint the top of the shoes with. And I filled it in where the teeth are. See on both sides. There you go. And then basically I am going to do the other shoe now, as you can see there. And like I said, it takes a long time, a lot of patience. There you go. That's what both of them look like right now, together. And as you can see there, I did everything with a rough draft of the shoes, the rough draft of basically the template. And then there you go. See, now I have the black licorice paint that I used, and I'm going to start filling all the teeth in because I want to make that design make it pop. So as you can see there, I'm just painting there and just adding the teeth, or filling in the teeth. And I'm just going over where I did the Sharpie, and I put about, I'd say I want to put 3 coats on there of the black paint because, you know, I want to make it look good. And but it does take time. Like I said, it does take patience, and I know you guys are probably just like, oh God, keep repeating that. Yeah, you're right, I am repeating it because, like I said, I was getting frustrated with this. It takes so long. So there you go. See, I used the paint, the black paint. So now I got the red paint. So I had to go over each one, and I show you the paint right there on the top left-hand corner. And then had to fill in and make it a little bit better because, like I said, the Sharpie looked like a rough draft, like I drew it. But when you paint it, it makes it so much nicer, and it looks more complete and a little bit more professional when you do that as well. And then, as you can see there you go. And then you have to do it basically 4 sides. So that's, like I said, that takes a lot of work. What you're seeing here in this 10.5-minute video is about a day and a half worth of work right there. So I'd say probably a good, if I was working straight, I'd say that was a good 2 hours, 3 hours that I did making these shoes. But there's a lot of time you have to wait and let things dry, and pretty much it is a work in progress. These shoes. So as you can see, I'm also trying to fill up. What you can't see is I'm touching up the red paint with the Sharpie to make the lines a little bit cleaner as well. And there you go. That's what it looks like so far. Done. And you can see that I'm going to be working on the camo side now of it. There is a stencil that you can also buy on Etsy as well, but I figured, you know what, I'm going to do this myself. Why do I have to sit there and pay for a stencil? So basically I just made this my own. So I started with 3 colors. One was brown, one was like a dark green, and one was like a lighter green. And what I did is I drew it out on pencil first, kind of like what kind of design I wanted to do on the camo. And then what I did was then I filled it up and then I started painting with the brown first. You can see I'm painting brown. And then eventually I worked my way to the dark green and the other green. But what you want to do is when you're painting the brown, don't try to make brown right next to each other. Try to spread it out. Maybe put 2 other designs between each one, and then make sure you're kind of consistent. And then as you can see there, now I'm mixing the green. And then I started filling in the green right there. And as you can see there, I'm not putting it on next to each other. So you, like I said, you kind of have to separate the greens as well as the browns, and try to evenly space them out if you can. That's what works best, and it makes it look nice. And I went over the green and the browns and everything else like that more than once. So I think just to keep that color. So as you can see there, I'm adding the last of the green. And like I said, I put 3 coats, but we only see I'm only putting 1. But I did put about 2 to 3 coats to make sure that it pops. And then I'm almost done there. There you go. See the finished product. And then basically you got to go work on the other shoe too. So this is this is basically my completed work on both shoes, as you can see there. And you see the red, I haven't taken off the red vinyl tape yet because I wanted to continue doing some stuff. This is another thing that I'm doing that I don't think anybody else has done. I thought this would be kind of cool if you'd be able to see it at night. So as you can see here, I put glow-in-the-dark paint on it. And basically, here is the project and the completed work. If you enjoyed watching this video, please like it as well as subscribe to my channel. Thank you.